All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of a new podcast, which is still unnamed. So if you guys have any ideas, please feel free to let us know in the comments. But yeah, for the first episode, we're going to be going over a few current topics that are happening in professional Valorant, including the upcoming Masters Madrid, any roster changes that are going on. We're going to be power ranking the teams, going through our pick'ems, and as well as listing our cumulative top 10 players going into the event. So yeah, seeing as this is our first episode, we're just gonna go ahead and introduce ourselves really quickly. So I'll start with that. My name's Cokes. I play Valorant professionally, semi-professionally, whatever you want to say. And I also just enjoy watching the game and analyzing it. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. So we'll go to Wilkin next, I guess.
I'm Wilkin. I do a bunch of like YouTube content creation centered around like VCT and everything like that. I started back in like December of 2022, I believe, 2021, 2022, somewhere around that. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, I've just been making videos constantly ever since. I do like a lot of scouting for tier two players and everything like that. And yeah, then let's go to Akum.
Yeah, my name is Akum. I just play the game and I watch the game. I'm not good at the game, but I like watching the game and I would watch a lot of it, so I think I know
Number one
enough
hater
about the
of
game to
every
talk
player.
about it. Okay, bro. There's no need. Okay, go next, Abda.
Uh, what up? I'm Adba, and basically like a coon, just watch the game, play the game. Trying to get a little bit into the analyst, but I don't really know what to look for, so I'm getting better at that. But that's it.
All right.
All right. So yeah, so that's us four. We do have other people that are going to be, coming on from time to time, but yeah, for the most part, that's us four. Quick introductions. But I guess let's just get right into it. So, our first topic is going to be roster mania, I guess. Mid-season roster mania. It's like middle of the season. Kickoff just ended, but some shit has gone down already. Some rosters have not blown up, but some key pieces have already been released, picked up, whatever you want to say. So I guess we'll just start with the Bleed roster. Bleed has picked up Zest and Retla. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know much
Yeah,
about
so
that guy, I'll be honest. But they picked up Zest, who obviously was former DRX. He played the first Challenger split in Korea, as well as letting go of Egoist to announce his retirement from the game, and benching Crazy Guy. So I don't know. Any thoughts about that?
I have some thoughts, but I'll let everybody else talk first because I have very deep thoughts about this team.
This guy's gonna go crazy.
Uh,
Do either of you have
I
anything you
mean,
want to say?
I don't know. I think overall, like, I'll be honest, I didn't watch much Bleed last year while they were in, Challengers and then Ascension and obviously winning it. Um, but I've watched like some VODs. I know Crazy Guy has always been um really good. Like I've always only heard like good things about him. So it kind of did catch me off guard when I found out that he was the one that was going to be getting um one of the ones that was going to be getting benched. But I mean, I think Zest is Zest, right? Like he's kind of been really good since the beginning. So can't really like I don't know. I think he's just a known quantity and he's good.
Either you have anything you want to say? Because I know what I want to say.
No, I probably just add on to what you say.
All right.
uh, yeah, pretty much the same thing, but I like it's it sounds like there was an internal conflict, so it makes sense that they made the roster change. But I didn't think Crazy Guy deserved to be dropped, if I'm honest. Like the team didn't particularly look good, if I'm honest. Like they didn't look ready. The roles didn't look good. But individually, I think Crazy Guy was fine. His calling was fine. But I guess they just weren't going to work the
Yeah.
issues out, I guess. So it makes sense. But I'm not I know Zest is really good, but I don't know if this roster will work, man. I know Retla was fine, if I remember correctly, when I watched him like in the earlier days. But I have no expectations for this roster at this point. The role should be better, so I guess that's a good thing. But from what I'm seeing, Scary is going to be the caller, and I was watching Chobra yesterday, and he was talking about this move, and he was saying that Zest English is not great. So uh,
God.
I don't know.
That's
I
not
didn't
a
even
good
know
sign.
that yet. I didn't even know that yet.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
I'm not sure. Yeah, because the like most people assume that Zest was either going to be calling or like he'll be like a vocal guy, like a
That's what
second
I was
caller type.
thinking.
But
Yeah,
if
it's just,
he
yeah.
if his comms aren't like really good, like I don't know what's gonna happen.
All right.
But
Yeah, I don't
I
know how I feel
still
about that.
have faith in them as individuals, so maybe they'll figure it out. But like, I, I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, we know the players on this team. Right? Obviously, you're losing Crazy Guy, who is crazy in himself. Like he's really good.
Right.
And Egoist is obviously really good too. You're losing him, but like we know the players on this team. We know the individual talent they have. I mean, Ye was literally top of the world for an entire year, and whatever Chamber Merchant, whatever you want to say. But the mechanical talent is there. Like we know this. This team is talented. I think it's more of like if they can bring it together. To be honest, but I don't know how much faith I have in that.
All right. So
I wanted
basically,
to ask you guys something. What
well,
about Darian? What do you guys think about Darian? Because
I think he needs to be playing
I
Sentinel for
think
this
it's
team.
I think the opinion is like really split on him. Where like some people think he's really good, some people are like he's whatever. But like they want to see him on Duelist. I think like
I
from
just
what
I
I've
didn't
seen
personally
like
like
so
him
far
on
in the game.
Duelist when he played.
Which yeah, I didn't love it on Duelist either. Like he was doing an okay job, but his entrying wasn't like
It just
crazy or
seemed forced
anything.
to me.
It didn't look, if I'm honest, it didn't look that much better than Ye's entrying. Like, and Ye
Yeah.
isn't even that great of an entry player. So I I hope he's on like Senti Flex, but like I just don't.
I don't see that happening personally.
I don't either. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I don't know what to think about this team sometimes, man. Like I like a lot of the pieces here. I like Darion, I like Scary, I like Zest. Don't mind Ye, even though I've been labeled a Ye hater by these three.
Nah, you are a hater.
you're definitely a yay.
You are a hater.
He played like garbage at that turn at
He did.
kickoff, man.
He played bad. He played bad, but I don't know why.
And he
You know
was
what?
already on Fraud
Continue.
Watch.
Continue.
Okay.
Um, but bringing in Zest here instead of Crazy Guy, it's an upgrade, like a significant upgrade individually. I don't think anybody disagrees about that. But
Yeah.
bringing in somebody who's not going to be IGLing instead of Egoist, I think is a major like mishap by this like staff, team, whatever you want to call it, like whoever's making the roster decisions. I think they really needed to pick up some kind of like flex player, like slash IGL. Maybe somebody like Neff, who was playing for them in Ascension last year. Because to me, they got through Ascension mainly by their individual skill. Having guys like Scary, having guys like Juicy, who is playing in Tier 2 right now because he is not old enough. And I think Crazy Guy was a big part of his the individual play there, along with Darion playing on the Sentinel, which I thought he was a lot better on than any of this flex stuff he's been playing, or the Duelist, whatever you want to call it. I think you either needed to have Darion and Ye do that like Sentinel slash Duelist swap, kind of like say like EG did, except it was Smokes instead of Sentinel. Like Darion plays Raze on the Raze maps, and Ye plays the Sentinel on those maps, and then Ye plays Jet on the Jet maps, and Darion plays Sentinel on those maps. I think without that, you're going to stick with these terrible roles for this team. I don't see a world where they do that, or don't play double Duelist, or just Jet every map for Ye. I don't think the Neon looked particularly good.
Yeah, I can't disagree.
I also
I
don't
was
think.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah. I also don't think their general just like setups or anything were good at all, which is like kind of playing into like they didn't need to have those great setups or great set plays or great calling to get through Ascension. Even though I did think Crazy Guy's calling was pretty decent in Ascension, it looked fine, I guess.
I
In kickoff, I don't think it was great, but
yeah. I mean, to me, it's like obviously being an IGL myself, I can kind of attest to this a little bit. Obviously, it's two different levels, but like,
yeah.
I think that's maybe where we see the reason for him being dropped. Right? Was his calling okay throughout the event? Yeah, it wasn't great, but it definitely was not bad. maybe the fact that they lacked in the setups and stuff, can you blame that on the coaching staff?
Yeah.
Yeah, partly, but it's also partly on him. So you can read into it however you like. But if I had to guess, considering his calling wasn't that bad, it was either some sort of internal issue or the fact that he just either wasn't working hard enough or just wasn't he just wasn't on the same page as everyone else.
I think it's probably more the second part.
I would assume he's
Yeah.
I-
Not on the same page, having arguments or whatever. I think it. I know this is gonna be leaning into the yay hater thing, but he has had some maybe red flag stuff. I know it was like something really minor with like the stay on like worry about your own site or whatever thing from
Mhm.
the fucking match or whatever. And I tend to try not to read into those things too much, but when it's happened from multiple teams in a row with players seemingly not liking the guy, you start to have red flags there. Like people are already having red flags about maybe King, who was on like T1 getting cut. I don't want to say that because that's saying something that I know nothing about, but having it happen multiple times in a row is kind of a red flag to me.
Yeah,
I agree with
I can't disagree with that. I really can't disagree with that, to be honest.
All right, do we want to move
Um,
on to Pancata now?
Yeah, we can definitely move on. So our second topic within roster meeting is going to be Sentinels. This can be a quick one, obviously. Sentinels picks up Curry as their sixth man. Probably won't be used, but like you never know. Tens get sick a lot, right? I mean, it's Sentinels. They're probably going to get unlucky at some point. Might be used if has to be used. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think he's
I don't
fine.
hate it.
Like he's shown to be a good player for years now, right?
Yeah.
I think it's fine. But I think the most important part is Pancata, right? So I saw Pancata tweet that he was staying on the bench because he was dealing with health issues, which is I had no clue about that. But
Yeah.
if that was the reason, that makes sense. And now they're letting him explore options now that he's actually able to. Big ups by SEN. I mean, we've seen it with Knights right before franchising. We saw it with EG right after they won champs. Like you can contract deal your players and just try to make as much money off them as possible. But it seems like SEN is going a good route here, and no buyout, allowing to explore options, and yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean, we'll obviously talk more about him later and like any predictions we have for him, but
I do think realistically, like, is he gonna get picked up by any, at least America's team outside of Furia? Like, is any team gonna make any kind of panic move like that? I know it's a player like a world class smokes player on the board, but I really don't see too many teams outside of maybe Furia, as I said, like potentially making a move for him.
I think it just depends, right? Like I think a lot of it depends on what C9 does. Because I genuinely could see him landing with C9 if some one thing happens. If Jakey gets dropped, I could see it possibly happening. Then he could go play smokes for them. He speaks good enough English now, right?
Yeah.
Like his English wasn't great at first, but it's it's good enough now. He's obviously shown to be world class at that role, and I don't think he played bad at the beginning of the year with Sentinels on the smoke show. I think Celsius just fit the team's vibe better.
Yes, I
I
agree.
mean, so I think C9 would be if they were going to drop Jakey, I think they'd be dumb not to throw money at Pincata. But it doesn't look like Jakey's gonna get dropped. So
I don't know about that, because I think Jakey's still like on the shopping block from it,
Yeah,
like from the reports and shit.
but also
So
like
who knows?
the tweets that
But
he made
like,
could have just been about Whippy getting cut and
no,
not being
there
happy
was
about
like
that.
other, not his tweets specifically. I mean, like I saw like rumors and stuff, so it might be just like
Who's the
and
Rocket?
shit.
Right, is the spreadsheet guy, right?
Yeah, that
He
guy.
tweeted the
And
thing about that, but I think that was just in response to the Jake tweet. I don't
it
like.
could be.
I thought I saw, no, I saw something else too though. I
Oh,
could be
okay,
wrong though. Who knows?
okay.
I did
But
see Rocket tweet a little screenshot of like a
yeah,
spreadsheet with Whippy being unlikely
cut
or something.
and
Actually, here I just pulled up
Whippy
right here.
being like fully cut and like Jakey being unlikely
Oh
to
yeah, Jakey
return
is
or
like
something,
under
right?
10% chance apparently.
Yeah,
So
that's the one I saw, and I thought I saw something else too, but I disagree about the thing about Pancada having only like Kyria as an option. I think there'll be like at least 3 or 4 other teams that can happen. I just don't know if it will. Like if things play out like really badly for that team, I can see it happening. Like I can see it for Loud, I can see it for C9, I can't see it for
Loud,
MIBR
really.
actually. I can see it for Lev.
I
Lev,
don't
I
know
can
about
definitely I
Loud.
don't know. I
I
don't know, man. I have a feeling about Loud. I feel like if it goes like horribly wrong at Madrid and like I don't know, I just have a feeling.
I could see Leviathan. I just maybe after the first split. I don't think it's
I
happening.
think
I think
I
Leviathan is a
actually
higher
think
chance,
Leviathan
obviously.
would
I think
be a
yeah.
good fit. I actually think it could be a good fit.
Lev makes sense. Lev makes a lot of sense because it's like it's the same role and it's not like his comms are that much worse than Mazino's and like the roles are work perfectly fine. Unless like Pankara is like really bad on Harbor, I don't see a world where
The other thing I
he
could
doesn't
see
get
with Leviathan is not even cutting Mazzino, because I thought he played pretty well at kickoff. Like he
X.
played a lot better than I expected. Is Tex leaving? Not necessarily for
Uh,
Pancada to play the Sentinel, but maybe somebody like King transition over to Sentinel.
nah,
Because he's played
nah.
a
I
lot
I
of
don't
mean,
Viper
think so.
stuff, which is fairly similar.
I
Like a
know
lot
he
of Sentinel
has, but
players end up
like
playing Viper.
I don't love that, if I'm
I'd,
honest.
I
I like it better than cutting Mazzino, at least for right now, because Mazzino could play flex, which he was
I prefer
significantly better at, in my opinion, than
he was
Smokes.
really good. He was good on flex, but like I just get the best five possible.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at. I think Tex
I think.
probably has a lower floor than Mazzino. Like that
Oh,
roster with
easily.
Tex has a lower floor, but I also think it has a significantly higher ceiling.
yeah, I mean we don't have anything about Lev on our topic list, but we can go ahead and we can talk about that a little bit. Right after we just talk about C9
Yeah.
dropping Whippy.
Yeah, if we have
No
time
no
in the
like
end, we can talk.
no predictions about that because that'll be in a later segment. But what do you think about C9 dropping Whippy? I mean, I just think it was gonna happen. It was bound to
Yeah.
happen.
Had to
He didn't play
happen.
good. Didn't look good.
I thought he was fine, if I'm honest.
I
Like I'm not even high on Whippy. I think he's pretty mid. But like for the role he was picked up and like the team situation, I thought he was like
I thought he
perfect. If
looked
anything,
fine.
I thought he was even
Exceeded.
exceeded my expectations in some of the games. Not all of them. Like he was pretty inconsistent. I think like series to series, but like some of the games he was popping off, man. I don't really get
I
this
agree
point.
with you
Like
overall in terms of like
there are better players out there, but I feel like it's a little bit reactionary to the result.
I I think
It
I think it
is. No,
just
it
had to
definitely is.
happen because they
Yeah,
they
I agree.
performed
Yeah,
so well at Red Bull with a content creator that like
Mhm.
they come in and look this bad at kickoff with Whippy in also losing at the Tarek Ludwig event as well after that.
Yeah.
I think it had to happen, but I do still like Whippy as a player. I think he should get picked up by some tier 2 team. It won't happen, at least for this split. Um, I don't know. He is Russian.
I
You
mean, you
could see
have
him
to
move
assume it's
back to
fine.
EMEA, honestly. I think I could see that.
I
Replace some
I
it's
player like
definitely
Shados or
it's
where would
something.
he even what team could he
Koi?
even join?
Koi?
Boy, who's their sentinel
we're just
player?
opening another
What am I
can of
thinking?
Yeah,
worms. I
dude,
don't
I
Who
have
know.
the hell is their sentinel player?
Shados, who I think is a great player, and I don't think they
Nah,
should cut
you're
Shados
trolling. Nah,
necessarily.
nah, 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 nah.
I'm saying that they
Who
should
should they
cut
cut then?
Starzo and then move Shados to flex.
Saxo was good. What
Yeah,
are we
we're
doing?
not getting into
Nah,
that.
you're
We're not
trolling. You're
getting
trolling. Nah, nah.
I thought he was fine. I didn't think he was
No,
great.
he was good. He wasn't great, but he was good. He had like really good games, and he was like fine in the other games.
Hmm.
He didn't have a bad game, I don't think, where he was like actually like hindering the team.
Okay. Well,
So,
We'll move on.
yeah,
EMEA
trolling.
aside,
Anyways,
EMEA aside, I think it has to be a vibes, team chemistry type of thing. I don't think he looked awful fundamentally or mechanically in game. He looked okay, and I actually was someone that was fairly high on Whippy going in because I knew he had a
Same.
rough situation at G2 last year. but the year before on V1, he was great. Like Whippy was genuinely great. So I was fairly high on Whippy coming in, but I just think it was vibes based, like vibes, team chemistry based. He probably just didn't fit.
I agree.
I don't know if it's that because he's played with Vanity before.
Played with Oxy
He's familiar with
and
like
Imi.
Oxy, and he's familiar with ME. So like I don't know if it was vibe. I think it was just like long-term outlook.
That too. Yeah.
I
I
thought
think
I feel like they saw I feel like they saw this vibe, they saw the performance in kickoff, and they're like, we just don't see a world where this team can be like top 5, top like whatever. Like
Yeah,
I don't think we can make I don't think we can make internationals with this team. So we just have to do a change. Like we have to do something.
I think Vanity
That's
is
what it
very
feels like to
vocal
me.
about that kind of stuff because like with the like his move to C9, his like the dropping of Zeta and everything like that. He doesn't want to just be okay. He wants
He
to
wants to be
be
the best.
one of the best, if not the
Yeah,
best.
he always wants
Yeah.
to be the best. Yeah.
Can be the best with a mid IGL with mid
All
mechanics.
right,
Though.
buddy.
Okay, see, that actually could take us into our next topic because our next topic was supposed to be predictions for Pancata, Whippy, and C9, but we kind of already touched on that.
At least
So I'm
Pancata,
just gonna
yeah.
go ahead and flip the script. Aside from just predictions about C9, we can talk about the rumors that are going there. But I also want to talk about and highlight someone on that team. That being Vanity. I think Vanity exceeded my expectations
As
by so much.
as a caller
Not
or as an
necessarily
individual?
as a caller. I think his
Okay.
calling
Individual,
was
individual.
mid. Was extremely mid.
Yeah,
His
the calling
calling
was
a
much
little
worse
bit
than
the
I
6ix9ine
expected.
thing.
That
Yeah.
said, I think Vanity was playing some crazy mechanical val. I didn't know Vanity could do that. Like
I didn't know he
some
had
of the
hands
shit
like
he
that.
was
Am
doing.
I right?
That's
was
what I'm saying.
doing-
I didn't know he had hands like that.
He was doing it in Red Bull. Like I was ready for it. I was
I mean,
I-
that's off-season tournament
Yeah,
against
like, I-
yeah,
tier
but
2
his
teams, so
his
that's the
actual
thing.
mechanics looked better. Like it wasn't
They-
even
they did,
like
yeah.
Did they though? I mean, I thought they were like the same as it was with who was he playing challengers with? SR, right? Yeah. I thought
SR.
it was like about the same
I didn't watch
like
too much
as
of
last
SR,
year.
so
Like he was like slight
I can't say.
I didn't watch a lot, but like I watched enough of
I watched like
of
their
SR
final
to have
couple
an idea.
games, like their playoff
Yeah,
games,
I
because I
watched
thought they were
them
gonna make a
enough to
lower
have an
bracket
idea.
run, which was an interesting pick by me. I
That's
don't know.
wild.
Anyways, I mean, but yeah, individually, mechanically, he was insanely good. Like,
Yeah.
if you consider expectations, he was trolling a little bit though. If I'm honest, like he was
Vanity.
taking a little bit too many first duels. He was like throwing
Yeah.
away his life. But like,
He does that though. Like,
I like the role better for him. But
I agree.
from the rumors, it seems like he wants to go back to spokes, which I'm like, I'm torn on because I
I
feel
didn't
like
see anything about
if his
that.
mechanics can keep up, because that's what the rumor is that about Jakey, it's because they want Vanity back on smokes.
I
like,
mean,
more
I
comfortably.
tweeted about that, and that was
But I
what I
just-
suggested. I could
but
also
I
see with
I'm
that same
like
roster that I
torn on it.
suggested. Like it was like I think it was like
Yeah.
a Proto, and then Destrian in place of Jake, and then Vanity moved to Smokes. But I could see that going
Destrian.
either way, and Vanity
Yep.
being the initiator
Destrian.
still, and Destrian being Smokes. Yeah.
Destrian.
Yes,
What?
he was fine.
What? I mean, I
and
like Destrian, but like, why?
That is
I don't know.
I will say I think Destrian's
I'm pretty sure Destrian has a buyout or like he's under contract, so like
he
C9
probably
is
does.
not paying for it.
I don't know.
Either way, I think Destrian could be a solid replacement, but it's so random. I just can't see it happening. Like if you're gonna
Yeah.
import someone, why are we importing Destrian?
Because
like-
I mean, Vanity's wanted like safe in the past. Everything like I know they're good friends.
I mean,
so
yeah, that makes
makes
sense, but
sense.
like,
but yeah.
but it's C9, bro. I feel like C9 is not gonna pay for a buyout, and they're definitely not going for an import, especially considering like the level of talent in tier 2. Like,
Yeah.
there's just no way you need to look.
That wasn't
outside.
really a prediction on my end. That was a
Possibility, yeah.
like
Shot
a
in the dark.
suggestion.
I like
you
this
know.
shit though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate it. All right. So overall, how are we feeling about C9? The rumors are a Proto and Moose. I know Akum doesn't like Moose, but
Okay, bad.
He hates Moose.
But
why are we talking like I don't have reasons for it? You're just acting like
no,
I
no,
hate
there,
the guy
no,
for
there
no
are reasons.
reason.
You don't hate the guy. You just don't.
The way you
just
framed
think
it,
he's
it sounded like I
inconsistent.
was hating for no reason.
I don't know. Overall, I still have faith in the core of C9 to be like a gatekeeper team. Like I think
Yeah.
you know the
They
Oxy
could be the Giants of
Vanity
last year.
Zeppa. Yeah, I think Oxy Vanity Zeppa is good, and I think Oxy's obviously he's the truth, and Zeppa. No, Oxy
Zeppa
Oxy
was trolling a
absolutely
little
is the
bit
truth.
though.
I think
Oxy
Zeppa
was.
has been underrated for a long time.
I agree with that. I don't think Zeppa played well at that tournament, and I think Oxy, outside of
Oxy
the
was
first
good, Oxy was
MIBR
good.
game, I
Like,
don't think he played very well. I thought he played okay in
thought
the
he was
NRG
fine.
game, but
Yeah, he
I
was
don't think
good
he would.
on.
I
I
don't
thought
think
he
he
was
was good
like
in the
good against
in
NRG, but I don't think he was good against
lower
the
bracket
last
MIBR
like
game.
the
He was
elimination. Yeah, he was
not
pretty
good.
bad.
I don't know.
I also think he
think
overheats a lot. Like there was the one
definitely
ace he got on C
Yeah, but
on Lotus,
he's a
and then he
rookie, man.
immediately dry
This is
swung
his
out B the next round.
Okay, this is his second year in pro play. Like, give the guy some time.
He's played a bunch of tier 3 stuff before that. Like it's not like he hasn't played Valorant.
Oh, he was playing. He was dominating Knights weekly. Like,
Yeah, with like
he's
an
playing
actual
against
like.
Cans. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Well, actually, C9 didn't play against Sentinels, so
Okay. You know what
I don't know.
mean, though.
I think Oxy definitely has bright spots, and I will say like
Yeah.
this could just be me coming from like a, you know, I play the game at a competitive level. I think it's way hard. No, not. I think I know it's way harder for a duelist to look really good in a bad system than it is for any other player. A duelist in
I
a bad
agree.
system, it's
Mm.
almost impossible for them to shine through, unless they're just Osboss running it down on Reyna, fucking
Yeah.
frying everyone. That's different. But Oxy's playing Yoru, Oxy's playing Raze, Oxy's playing duelists that need to be set up. Yoru a little less, obviously, but I don't know. I give him the benefit of the doubt. I watched him all year last year on G2. When they looked good, he looked really fucking good. When C9 looked good in that MIBR game, who we know now MIBR is not a bad team at all. Like we know they got hands, right? So when they looked good against MIBR, Oxy looked great. I don't know.
I do think
So
some
you're
of the
saying he's
team
a
looking
team
bad.
then.
I do think some of the teams that he's been on looking bad have to do with him not playing well as well. Like I don't think you can
course,
shift all the blame to the team. I think it's like
Of course not.
it's honestly
Yeah, it's
more
like-
on Oxy, I think, than the team.
I don't know if it's more on Oxy, but it's definitely
Is it-
It's
a
a
lot of
split.
it is on Oxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 50-50 pretty much. Because I don't remember the exact round, but where he put his like Yoru TP into spawn and he just I don't know.
Oh,
what
the
he was doing.
Yoru round where he
Yeah,
like
when
popped
he
up
ulted,
right in
yeah,
front of
when he
DM and
ulted.
one and just died.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, he
things like
definitely-
that. It's not the team fucking up his setup. It's just him making a decision and fucking up. Like it happens.
Yeah. I mean, overall, like I said, I have faith in the
But that
core.
being said, I still have a lot of faith in Oxy. I feel like a
Yeah.
duelist like him, it's better to have someone who overheats and has like that mechanical potential than someone who's like too passive. It's easier to rein someone in than to make someone more aggressive, if that makes sense.
I do agree.
No,
yeah.
100% it is. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Power rankings?
enough said about C9. I suppose it's been
then.
half of our show so far. Just been C9 in
Legit.
some capacity. But yeah, I guess let's head into the power rankings.
Alright.
Now let's just go.
No.
Let's just do 8 to 7.
Just
So
go
I'm just
bottom
gonna
to- yeah,
I'm just gonna go ahead and start us off and say FPX is absolutely the worst team in this tournament.
I agree.
And
I
don't think
agree, but
I
I
don't
like
think it's
FPX. I agree,
Yeah.
but I like FPX.
I think they
I
looked
fuck with FPX.
better than they have, but
Autumn is the truth. He didn't have a great tournament, but he's the truth. Trust.
I've
Wait,
heard a lot of good
Berlin's
things
so
about him.
fun.
I didn't see too much in the games that I
Berlin
watched.
also the truth.
Yes.
I love
He's so
Berlin.
fun.
That's by IGL. By IGL.
I think he looked
He's so
insane.
fun. Okay.
But
Same.
You
Alright,
know
what
who
were you
Berlin
saying,
is?
Abba?
Berlin is if Vanity had hands. That's what Berlin is. That's what I get the vibes of. You know?
all right, so we got FPX at 8.
Yeah,
Personally-
I don't think we need to say much about that. Yeah.
Personally, I have Heretics at 7. I don't know where you guys are at with that.
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
I-
Okay, the thing is, okay, I'm not hating, but like the next like 3-4 teams, they could be anywhere from the top to bottom.
Yeah, I
That is
agree.
true. That is true.
That's the
I
thing.
okay.
Like,
But I feel
it
like
just
Heretics
depends
are
on
the team
who.
that
It
has
just
a-
depends on who can translate the best. I think
I agree.
I agree.
it's just
I
about who you have faith in.
So personally, I actually had a different team here, which I don't think many people are going to agree with. But I'm fine putting Heretics here. I think Heretics looked good, but I also think they looked form good.
I think
Right?
they
Like, they had some good ideas.
It looks
Whose calling
unsustainable.
was
Like, let's
yeah,
just put it
yeah.
that way.
unsustainable. Yep, I agree. So let's just go and toss them in the 7th spot. That's fine with me.
I think they had a lot of like set play stuff and everything like that. Setting
I
up
don't
mini
know.
boo, he would
I
just
don't agree with this, but it's fine. It's valid.
Do we know who's going to be playing in Madrid?
It's gonna be Patatek.
Patty
yeah,
Tech,
Patatek still.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Which
Patatek,
same
yeah.
roster.
I don't know, man.
And
They're gonna
Reals
have a
will be on
hard.
stage.
They're gonna have a hard time getting rid of him if they do well here, especially.
Yeah.
No, it'll be a
I
pretty
don't
easy
feel like they're going to
decision.
do good.
I think
think
if
they're
they
gonna
do good
fall.
here, they
I
they
don't think
it
the
would,
I
it
don't
would
think
be
the
a
result
plus.
matters. If I'm honest, like regardless of the result, I think Woot will be in because like
Oh, I agree. I think it's just gonna
has,
be.
like,
It's gonna
way
feel
too much
bad.
potential.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be like, oh,
Yeah,
they did really well.
I
Patatek
hope
played
Patty
well.
wins the team, but like it's
Yeah.
kind of fucked.
I feel like they're going to get stomped by SEN.
Really?
Yeah.
By Sen?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Yeah,
Too.
I think they're
By Sen,
This-
I can see it. Their map pool is
This is
not.
how
It's
this. I
fraudulent.
think Heretics is going to try to chow them on Lotus, and they're just going to get swamped.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah,
it.
because they
Alright.
can't play Ascent. Like
I don't know. Yeah, they're gonna ban Ascent
I'm-
against Sentinels and it's just Jover. at
yeah,
that
so
point.
they're cooked.
Sixth place.
I had Genji.
Personally, I had Genji.
I have-
Well, actually, I had Genji in 7th, not 6th. I flipped Heretics and Genji, but I am confident
I
that Genji
have
will be 6th.
PRX,
Interesting.
Dude,
I have PRX.
I think
but
they're
I'm
gonna be
not sure
fine.
about this. I think
I
they
really-
can be over the other two, but like I'd low-key have EDG here, but like it's between EDG and PRX.
I just
So,
don't see
I
it.
think. The reason, so, and you can, speak amongst yourselves after I give my reasoning, but the reason I have a Genji here is because I think Genji was, out of all of the regions, the most form-based team out of anyone.
I disagree.
don't-
I don't know about that.
I think Karon, whatever, however you pronounce it,
Yeah,
he was
Karen.
playing unfucking real.
I think
That
he's the
guy
next
was
Mako.
playing out of his mind. That
But
guy,
I think he's just him though.
Yes.
is
It's the
he
other
going to
guys.
be? I think it's too much of an unknown. Texture was playing great. Karon, out of his mind.
But
I
you
just
can
feel
say
like
that
he's too
about
formed.
so many teams though. You can say that about so many other teams.
You can say that about Carmen Core. You could say that about Sen. You could say that about Loud.
No, no.
Not Sen. You can't say that about Sen.
But the difference is, Sen aside, because that's just, I'm just not even gonna get under that.
That's just
I had them
invalid.
one. I had them
Carmen Core-
first. I had them first.
Okay,
That's
I'm
not
just
the
saying.
point, but, like, it's
Sen aside, Carmen Core had a lot of insanely good ideas. Their ante was crazy good against Fnatic. Like,
Yes.
it was insane against Fnatic. They have levels above coaching staff. Like, Eng is
But-
just probably the best coach. in the world.
That's all
Eng
valid.
is
That
the
is
goat.
all valid.
So I
but
just don't think they're
Casey-
comparable at all.
But they are a little bit. Because the players were playing out of their mind and they were going against
Yes.
people who did not have their hands on for some reason.
Fnatic.
Fnatic,
you're
no,
not wrong.
Fnatic did not have hands that day. I
It's
don't
not
know
Envy.
what they were doing, but they just did not have hands. It wasn't
Fnatic
just
really
Andy.
just got
Bro, the fights I saw they were
It's not
taking,
Envy.
like it just like I never seen Fnatic lose those fights like that often.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like they just had no hands. There were
Yeah.
so many individual plays from KC, which is because they're good players, but also because Fnatic was playing like shit.
I
It's
also
it's both.
I do want to say about Genji. I think while they don't have the best macro game plan at all, I agree with that. I think Karma Core's ante is so much better
They
than
have
theirs. I
great
think they're just
fundamentals.
macro game plans are so much better, but their fundamentals, like their trading, all that kind of stuff, is unbelievable. Like it is
really
Loud,
It is.
Sentinels, and then them.
Yeah.
Maybe not in
Loud?
that order, but I think they're like top 3 in terms of that, if
We'll-
not
we'll
the
get
best.
into Loud.
They have really good. Yeah, they do have really good fundamentals. But also, if there was someone who has like, oh, I don't think they can keep this up. It's not Karen. It's Meteor.
I think
I
it's
just-
I think it's texture at that like unbelievable
think
best
it's Texture.
duelist in
I think
Pacific
Texture is the truth.
level. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
don't think
that's
he'll keep up
comparable.
that. Yeah, I don't think he'll be like by far the best duelist in the world, but like I think he'll be great regardless.
Yes, I agree.
But Meteor and Munchkin, I'm like,
Actually, yeah, Munchkin. I forgot about him.
you can do
That
this?
I also don't know who's
think
IGLing here. I
in
don't know.
general, this team has a lot of insane individual players that had crazy good fundamentals and just were performing out of their mind individually.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't watch Karon last year. He played in
He didn't
challenge, I
play
think.
anything. He didn't
He
do
didn't play
anything
anything.
before
Yeah,
this.
he didn't play anything. He was a rag player.
Yeah.
So I just
Guy's
don't
narrate.
know. I
He's-
just don't
he's a
know that I
Korean
can have the
narrate.
confidence in him.
I
I don't.
If he comes, I hope he proves me wrong. If he comes out here and he plays out of his fucking mind, if Gen G are playing the individual level that they were playing during Pacific,
I don't
all
think
of
that's
them.
possible.
they could win this event.
yes,
But
I agree.
that said, that's not
If
gonna
they
happen.
translate it, they might be the best team in the world,
Yeah,
man.
But
Like,
that is
it's
not
ju-
going to
but
happen.
it's just not realistic. It's
I-
just not possible.
I do think Karon is actually the most likely out of. I trust him the most out of all of those players to translate because we
It's
haven't really
Texas
seen him
and-
play
And
bad.
him for me.
We haven't seen
I
him play
mean,
bad. The offseason tournament that they
His
played,
first games.
the offseason tournament that they played, he was
Yeah.
unbelievable at that event as well.
Yeah, they're
Like,
playing against tier 2 teams.
yes,
so-
but they
And
played
they
against
were
one
good.
tier 2 team. And then it was like
Yeah.
Furia and then
Tier 2
Global
team
and then
in
a couple
India,
mid.
which is
the
like
EMEA
tier
teams.
300 in NA, bro.
Either way, I
Knights
get what you're
weekly.
saying. I get what you're saying, and yeah, I mean Gen G 6th is fair. Like I said though, if they have the form that they had in Pacific, they will win this event. But
I think it'll be close. I think they're like up there. A couple of the
but
top
that's not
teams if
gonna
they do.
that's not gonna happen though.
I'm not liking where this list is going, bro.
All right.
So number 5.
I'm not even gonna.
Believe
I know this isn't gonna work. What my pick isn't gonna work, but that's just how
Well,
I
what
did
was
my
your
tier
pick?
list. Well, I think it's because of how I did my
Yes?
tier list, but I had Carmine Core.
Oh.
No.
No, if
No.
you go to the video, you
No.
look at the name of the tier. I said one of these teams will be
I've seen
sick.
it. I've
One of
seen
these
it.
teams will suck.
But that's
seen
not.
that, I've seen
This is a different tier list. though.
Yes, I agree.
So-
So that's why I'm not even gonna argue to put them down in 5th. But I do want some
So
other
who
teams
are you
over
putting
them.
in fifth?
EDG.
Nope. I don't.
What?
I agree. EDG. And
I think I'd have EDG 6th actually. Now that I think
I
about
think 5th or 6th. But listen, as much as TMV yaps about bullshit all the
Sometimes.
time, I think that he was dead on with EDG.
Same team.
They have not looked great since Tokyo. I think they stagnated. I think they're still insane individual players. I mean, literally all of them can shoot back every day,
Mhm.
constantly. They're all
it.
very
There,
good,
though,
but they stagnated for sure.
I think Howdong's taken a dip, but other than that, I think
it
the rest of the
might be-
team is
they
fine.
might be they might have stagnated, but also like it's China, man. It's like they don't even have to try. Like they don't have to innovate to win. If that makes sense. I
Mhm.
feel like because every time I feel like comparing their regional tournaments to like the international stage, it feels like they've always leveled up their game. Like they it feels like they play up to their competition, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Wait,
I agree with
Can I say
that.
something? Can I say something?
Yeah.
Because I feel like in China, it's like they just don't try, or they don't have to try, or it doesn't work if they try because the playstyle just doesn't work. Maybe I don't know. But when I see them at international stages, it feels like they level up their game. They're calling and they're like macro.
Yes.
But and I have seen like ideas or things in their gameplay where I'm like, oh, this team is actually
Really
tier 1 that can compete with other regions. Because I think I'm not sure on this, but I think they're the only team in China which is like really good at changing the pace of the game. So they like slow it down or speed it up really like at really good spots. I don't know if the other team does that in China, but
Not
also
that I can think of. I mean,
yeah,
the only
not
other
that I
one
can
was
think of. Which is the
probably Rare
reason
Atom,
where I'm like
but
they probably
they don't
can
have
compete,
Yeoman
but
anymore.
also it's China. It's also China, so it's like
Yeah.
I don't rate their competition very highly, so it's very fair to have them here. I don't think they should be top 4. So
I think we'll let Adba say his piece and then we'll move on, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the clip, but did you guys see the plat chat clip of FPX versus EDG that they showed?
No.
No, I did
Dude,
not.
The
yeah,
the
really trying
round
to find it,
20
bro.
the round
FPX
23
was
where they
Oh,
they
the-
retake the wrong
the
They
site.
go to the
Yes,
wrong side.
yes,
Yeah,
bro. Dude,
they were
that was
throwing, man. I
That
watched that
was
live.
one of the
Like,
rounds of all time.
Yes,
I
for
posted
sure.
that clip in our Discord when I was watching.
I
That
think-
was
let me do that.
something.
I think personally, EDG has a very high ceiling, but I think fifth is fair for them. I think anywhere from fifth and sixth is just
Do
fair
they?
for them. I
Yeah.
think if you put Gen G at fifth and EDG at sixth, I'm fine with it. You put EDG
who
at
has a
fifth,
higher
Gen G at
ceiling,
sixth.
do you think, between Gen G and EDG?
I think EDG. I think EDG have more potential to
I
win
think
the
Gen G
tournament
has the
if
higher.
they play at their best.
I would say,
Uh,
going off of
Okay,
what I've seen, EDG.
I mean, if they play at their best,
I think Gen G has the higher ceiling, if I'm honest.
Adbo, what's your vote?
I don't know though.
EDG.
Okay.
EDG's up
Okay.
fifth. Okay. Top four. I mean, I think this one's. There's only one team it can be for fourth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I
everyone's
just
gonna
think
agree with
Paper
Paper X.
It's
Yeah.
Paper X,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
I don't have
I
any
mean-
faith in this team at this point, if I'm honest.
Not
What,
really.
bro? They do this every
I don't have
year.
faith.
They do it
I
every
don't
year.
have
They
faith.
play bad at the beginning
I
of the
don't
year,
have faith.
and then they fix
It's
everything,
not
and
that
then
they
they're the
did-
goats.
Nah, I just don't have faith.
Also, if you watch the grand finals, they were
Because
done.
regardless of how bad they're playing, their individuals always look good in their regional tournaments.
And I thought
And
they looked fine.
just did not see.
I think
They
the only
looked
person
mid.
that looked uncomfortable.
They didn't look
was
good.
Monyet.
They
Yes.
looked mid. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which
I don't
isn't,
care.
Which isn't.
It's
very
Paper X. I
PRX
trust
of
them.
PRX, they always have their individual show up regardless of what the team situation is. And I just did not see that this tournament.
Well, you're blind.
I don't know. I think it's
What?
Paper X.
Monyet was, bro. Who was popping off other than like Forsaken stepped it up in the playoffs where he was
A
like
couple
really good,
times,
but like
yeah.
for the whole tournament, I wasn't particularly impressed by any of them.
They played
Individually.
3 games.
They did play 3 games.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah, but if two of them play a lot better, then they're top 4.
Yeah.
are they?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
If
100%.
if say something,
100%.
maybe Monye gets better, or something.
Okay.
I would assume it'd be something, and then like one of the other, either Devai or
I don't know, man. I just don't have faith in
Monyet?
this team right now. I think they will figure it out eventually, but like right now, they look a little lost.
I think you're like what you're saying is valid, but I still don't see a team below them
That should be
I
above
agree.
them.
that
If everything,
Yeah, I
if
don't.
you're
yeah.
talking about like potential, right? If everything or most of the things go right, I think Gen G will place higher than PRX.
I think it's possible. I
I think
I
it's
trust them
more
too much.
realistic
I have-
that
I-
Gen G
yeah.
works it out than PRX, if that makes sense. That doesn't mean that I
That's
think Gen G will be better
take.
eventually, but like I don't think so.
I
yeah,
think
but
it
didn't
is.
you say that, dude? When I was DMing you about the final
I
for
did.
Pacific, you were telling me
But
that Paper X wasn't
watched
trying,
it back.
and Genji was a
But
fluke.
I watched it back. And I'm like, Genji might be cooking. Because I think Karan is the truth. I like Munchkin, but I don't know what he'll do. I think Lakia is really good, but he was kind of shit the start of it. I think he'll show up once in the international stages. I think
don't know about
Dexter is
that.
obviously the truth.
I just okay. Here's my final statement, and then I think we should move on.
Yes.
I think Paper X looked okay. Like they didn't look like Paper X, but they didn't look bad. But when it comes down to it, there's so many ifs with EDG. There's so many ifs
Yeah,
with
exactly.
NG.
So
If this
everyone
team
else-
plays good, if this player plays good, if they can keep up this form, I'm gonna go with the known quantity that
Yes.
Paper X plays good at pretty much every LAN. At
Yep.
pretty much every LAN they've had since
Something would like
Reykjavik too.
Reykjavik 2, they've been extremely good.
They've been
So
actually, except for champs and lock in.
well, that's what I said. Pretty
Yeah.
pretty much every single one. So I'm going to known quantity. Paper X at 4. I think it's fair.
I
Yep.
think so too.
Then
I don't think there's a right order for 4 to 7. Like
I agree.
It's
those
hard.
4
It
teams,
is-
you
it is
can
hard,
put
yeah.
them in any order, and like
Yeah,
I don't think
I
you
think it's
can.
a toss up.
You can't hard disagree with any order of those 4 teams. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
there's no right or wrong answer.
I agree.
And
Alright.
here,
Number 3. Now, I mean, I think this could be a toss-up, but I mean, to me, it's fairly clear. Who's number 3?
Karma Core.
I have Karma Core.
Loud.
Yeah.
I had
Loud.
loud.
Wow, we're
Whoa!
split 50-50.
2-2. Okay.
Okay.
We'll bring up
What's
the
your
coin,
argument?
but
What's
let's
your
discuss.
Let's
No,
let's
fuck
discuss
your coin.
Akun.
Fuck your coin. Let's
Wait,
discuss
wait.
first, then we'll do the coin.
Well,
Yeah,
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 that's what we're
one
doing.
Let me say one thing. So let me say what Eng. That's it.
Sadak.
That's all I'm gonna say. No, bro.
Mm.
Dude,
What did you say? You didn't say anything.
He said Aang, the coach.
Oh, that's
Eng
yeah,
is
okay.
the goat. Eng actually is the goat. I agree
Yes,
with that.
I agree.
It's whatever. Anyways, what's your argument for loud?
Sadak.
Casey over
Sadak.
loud. Sadak, that's it.
Yeah.
it's a
That's all you
My
need.
argument- My argument is also Sadak. Like those cops, they're not cooking, bro. They're
They'll
dog shit cops.
I guarantee you they will change at least one of the comp, probably the Ascent
If
comp.
they change, okay.
I'm
if they-
gonna tell you right now.
Yeah,
If they
Ascent
change
comp,
the
yeah, it
Lotus
makes
comp,
sense.
they will
Okay.
win.
I don't think I don't know if they have enough time for that.
Yeah, I don't
One
know
thing
about the
is-
Lotus comp. The Ascent comp, I think they can easily change and just
Ascent
run
comp,
default.
it's kind of easy because like everyone has experience and it's like only QCK you have to integrate, but like the
Yeah.
other ones, it's like it could be.
It doesn't
It
matter.
could go anywhere. That's the thing. Like the other maps, I'm a bit concerned if they like what.
I
they
mean,
can do
you
with
could
this
also
time.
just like run the comp. Oops, sorry. You could also just run the comps they ran at Champs and be fine. On
I
Lotus,
don't-
and
I
then
don't
just
New
integrate
player you're
QCK into them.
integrating, Like,
I
but-
think
but
at
it's
worst,
a new player.
worst
You
comes
can't play
to
the same
worst-
way. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
the
I
comp
agree.
might be same, but the playstyle can't be the exact same. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you have to change so much. You don't have Aspas, man. You don't have the fucking goat. You can't just leave him on one side and make him. Oh yeah, just hold it down, bro. The 4 people will rush you. Just get 3 and get out.
You could
Like,
just
you
do it
can't
with
do that
less.
anymore with KCK.
You could do it with
You-
less.
No, you can't.
You
No,
can do that with-
No, you
yeah,
can't.
You
No,
absolutely
you
can.
can't.
Yeah,
No, you
They
can't.
do it with less.
No, you
They do it
can't.
on their Ascent comp where they
no,
like
you
do the
can't.
stun
No,
and
you
be
can't.
main, and then
No,
he
you
just holds it, and then Kawanzine leaves.
Not the same as Aspas. It's not the same.
Yes, it is. I always thought he was the
It's
best
not the
player on this
same.
team.
Yeah, because you're dumb. But that's besides the point. Anyways. Bro,
I don't know,
I really
I don't
like
know.
Les. But it's not because Les is bad. It's just the role they play. Like, you just
Yeah,
can't
I
do
agree,
the same
yeah.
things you do on Jet. Like,
I-
it's just not possible to you to get out unpunished.
The
Okay,
other
at the
Not that
end
you
of the
can just
day-
because it's a duelist, but like it's Aspas. It's just I don't know. If they keep trolling, they might place even lower. But
Yeah.
like
yeah.
I have enough faith in Sadak to where I'm like, he'll clear the other teams regardless.
Also, like, if they just do
I-
Breeze, I don't think Breeze would be that hard of a map to integrate.
I think.
Does anybody
I
disagree?
think it'll be fine. I just don't think
I
I don't
don't
think they
think it
like the
is.
map particularly.
Because if they ban
and
Lotus,
I don't think they like the roles.
the rolls are fine.
Mm.
No? I mean, I guess less on Cypher isn't
sending?
great. but-
His cipher is good, but
Yeah,
it's,
it's
like, I
good.
just don't-
I don't
I don't
think
think
they
they
would
like
do
the
Breeze.
map in
Look,
general. Like,
look.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna be 100% honest with you. What their best bet is to completely rework their Lotus in this week they have to prep, and then
I don't
just
think
play
that's
the
enough
default Ascent
time,
comp.
man.
You have a week straight to prep only Lotus.
I
If you
don't think
prep-
that's enough time.
That's plenty of
Hmm.
time. That is plenty of time to prep
I
an
don't
entire.
know.
Yeah, their whole job is to play this
On a
game.
new comp, I just
They
don't
don't
know.
do anything. They play Valorant. That's all they do. They have a
You
week.
might be right.
They
I
play.
just don't know.
They play 4 to
Even
5
if-
scrims
okay,
a day.
okay. Bro, they can only. Even if they fix Lotus, right? They can only fix one map. They have 3 maps where they're running this dark.
I think the comps are good enough
Like,
on
you-
enough maps. I
You
think
can-
Sunset it's good.
Think about it this way. They can switch the comps on all 3 maps, but they can only actually like fully perfect one map.
Yeah, I agree. I think they could switch the
That's the
Ascent
thing.
comp, be good enough on
That's the
Ascent because
thing.
they're the best Ascent team of all time, right?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you
I
either
don't know,
fix
man.
Lotus or integrate Breeze and ban Lotus.
What about their icebox? You love their icebox?
I think it's good. I think it's good enough. Harbor Viper,
It's
loud.
good enough, but I think they're beatable, right?
Yeah.
Usually.
But
It's
at the end
just
of
Oh,
the
the
day,
way
by
maps
who,
that they're
though?
Beatable on. That's what
No,
I'm saying.
by who,
There's
though?
so
No, but
many maps
okay,
they're
here's the
beatable
thing.
on.
at the end of the day, they might be beatable on some maps. But what team's icebox is fucking insane enough to say that, oh, this is their best map. Icebox is their best map. Loud looks meh on it, so
But
they're just
they-
gonna get steamrolled. No,
only-
But
literally
there
no
are
one.
teams who look
Genji,
better on
maybe.
it. That's what I'm saying.
Genji was the only other team that
Genji-
played Icebox.
Genji was
like,
clearly
a lot.
Genji was clearly better. No, Casey played one map, right?
yeah, I meant like
They played
Right.
one.
they played like a significant
Okay.
amount of Icebox. Is my point.
And I have enough
I guess
faith in
Loud didn't
Casey where
either,
they
but
can like anti-stat and like fucking get it ready in time
yeah.
to counter Loud. Well, there's just so many maps where they look beatable, man. There's not. Is there a map where I'm like, oh, this is an auto win against any team?
I don't see it.
Ascent if they switch the comp.
I think Ascend.
If
I
they
just
I
switch
don't
the
think it's an
comp,
auto win.
if
I
they
think they'll
switch
be
the
I do.
favored, but like
I
don't. Even if they switch the comp, I don't think it's like an auto win. That's what I'm saying.
I don't.
Mm.
I think they'll be
I
favored,
mean,
but like I don't think it's an auto win straight up.
at the end of the day, you can flip flop it however you want. But I'm gonna say one final point before you flip the coin. Okay.
I do want to talk about
Yeah.
Karmine Core though.
Before
Yeah,
we
me too.
talk about Karmine Core. And this is actually about Karmine Core. You can talk about comps, you can talk about anything you want to talk about. But at the end of the day, Loud has Sadak, and Loud has a group of players that are extremely experienced outside of QCK, extremely experienced on the international stage, 2 of which have won a world championship before. And on Karmine Core, you have a very experienced coach, a
That's it.
somewhat experienced IGL, and that's about it.
And the
You have a
IGL has
really,
never
really
IGL'd
young-
before.
Yeah, and you have an extremely, extremely young team. I don't know. I just think that I have way more faith in Sadak to bring a team that is extremely experienced with a week to prep and be better than Karmine Core. I don't know. I don't think Karmine Core is going to be bad, but
Yeah.
Uh,
I think there's
think
more
it's a-
flop potential with Karmine Core than
it's a
there is
better
with
what
Loud.
if. It's a bigger what if.
yeah, maybe, but like also have faith in their coaching staff. I have faith in their individuals to show up.
Yeah.
I think their individuals are like if you compare one for one, I think they're better.
What?
pretty
I think
easily.
so too.
That
You don't think
that's
so?
insane.
You don't think KC's individuals are better?
No.
No.
Other
I
than
think so
less,
too.
like who's
No.
Les,
I think it's
Cowanzine.
4-1.
Cowanzine.
Les and Cowanzine are both
Kawan,
world
Kawan or
class on their role.
wait, would you?
And
I think
I'd go
Narrator's
2E
better
slightly.
than Kawan right now.
I'd do 2Es over Shin as well, slightly.
Nah.
I'd take
I-
2Es
I-
over
I
Shin
disagree.
slightly. I say
Nah, I
Narrate
disagree.
and Cowanzine are extremely close, but given how
I'm
long
taking Narrate
Cowanzine's
right
been
now.
doing,
I
Yeah,
also
but right now we're talking about
also
the-
Narrate
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
Cowanzine don't even like fully play the same role, I don't think.
that's
Yeah,
that's
but
also true.
that's because Casey's roles are fucked. That's besides the
Wait,
point.
That is true.
Are we saying
Okay,
Shin
just
is
go
the
like
best
best
smoker?
to like just go from best to worst. Like do that instead then.
Les clears the best player on Karmine Core. Any disagreement?
I agree.
Cowanzine
I-
clears. Who would be the
Les-
so we would go Narrate 1 for Karmine Core, right?
Martin second.
Then Martine. I think Cowanzine clears Martine.
I don't think he clears, but it's like it's right there.
I think he's over Martine. Is my point.
but
Then you'd go
can argue the
2Es,
other way
right?
too. I know.
On Loud. No, like as in third.
Oh,
You go
on
2Es
Loud, yeah.
over QCK or Sadak.
I might go KCK, but it's flip flop.
Then I'd go whoever it is for Karmine Core. It would be Shin, right?
Who's Casey's third best player?
Actually, wait, no. Then 2Es for Shin. Yeah, I'd go 2Es.
I mean, at the end of the day, this isn't even
Shin,
like a
Magnus.
this isn't even
Yeah,
like
this is
a
pointless.
matchup.
Yeah.
This isn't even like a matchup. We're not talking
Anyways,
about a pick'em.
bro,
Yeah,
Casey's individuals clear. Okay, Casey's
I
individuals.
agree.
I don't care what you say. Casey's
I think
individuals are better.
Casey's
I think their E-prep will be better. I think their map pool is better.
I agree
But
their map pool, but it's like
Only
not
thing that-
a significant
the only
difference.
argument Loud has is Sadak. That's only, and that'll only come into effect if they actually change the comps, which it doesn't look like they'll change the comps.
I think we both have fair arguments. We both have fair arguments. Just flip
Yeah,
the coin.
there's no wrong. I get no wrong answer.
Wait, who's
Tails
Henry
Loud.
Tails?
Oh wait, yeah.
Tails loud.
Okay, heads. So tails
Do
loud.
it again.
Yeah, we'll flip again.
We'll do tails loud, heads
It's Casey.
Karmine Core. All right, there it
Okay,
is.
man. Rigged, whatever.
Yeah, what the fuck is this?
All right.
You
so
just hate the French.
we've said we've said
No.
our piece
Okay.
about these two teams.
Yeah, you're just xenophobic. Okay, it's all right. We ball.
Now
totally
let's talk about by far the best.
My God! That's what we'll talk about. My God!
I think overall, fundamentally, just individually, this team Sentinels is easily the best team in the world right now. Like I don't think any
Easily,
team.
I don't know.
I
mean,
don't know about easily, but I think it's clear.
To me, when they're all hitting, no one on this list is going to beat them.
Casey, if everyone's hitting for Casey too,
I
I think Casey is winning the tournament. That's all I'm gonna say.
bro, If Casey,
You
everyone is
literally,
hitting on
dude, your
Casey, they'll
name
have
on
2
Twitter
memes in
has
Graph
hashtag
Party.
KCWin in it. I don't want to hear your opinion on
Okay,
Karmic Core.
but he's a hood. Don't worry about it. He changes the
Okay.
hashtag like every other day.
To be fair,
Mhm.
I'm also a Sentinels fanboy, but I'm just being fully honest. Overall, and I don't think it's not
Hold
a
on.
hot take. They look like the fundamental best team in the world. They
Yeah,
have the
fundamentally,
best
they're the
prep.
best. They
They're
are the
Hold on.
best.
easily by a landslide the best split team in the world. It's not even close.
I think KC comes close, but like I have
N-
to see it against better
No,
teams.
it's just
I think KC beats
no.
them. I think KC
I
beats
think
them.
eye
What?
test wise,
Then
I think
Sen?
eye test wise,
Are
KC
you,
is.
did you
I
even
don't know.
watch
I
the
don't know about that.
game?
I don't
yeah.
think it's better. I don't think it's better, but it's close. I think eye
It's
test wise,
not.
Casey's might be slightly better, but also like I don't love their comp and like I don't know if it'll hold up against better teams. So we'll just have to see.
I
But
don't think Sen is
purely eye test
unbeatable,
wise, without consider.
but like,
Yeah, I don't think they're unbeatable. That's
yeah,
not the
but
point. I don't
there's
think
not
KC is
like,
either.
there's not anybody that's close to
No,
them.
the
Karmic
Casey
Core
is.
is not.
Bro, I
They
see
dude, they lost
Casey's map
13-4 to
and
Heretics on Split. Does
that
everybody
was the
forget
first
about that game?
map. That
They-
was the first game.
That was
Okay,
the second
no,
time they
no,
played
no.
it.
Wilkin. But they
Oh,
also better after
They
that.
lost.
That's
They
why
lost 13-4, and then the second time they
they
played, they
anti.
won.
I'm
Yeah.
not. Yeah, I'm not saying it's like bad
No,
because they lost
they look
13-4.
way
They can't beat
better.
Heretics on it, but that game is highly concerning for me when
They
it
lost.
comes to.
Okay,
Yeah,
look,
but
look,
that's
They
look.
fixed all their
but that was a
mistakes in the
prep
grand
def.
final.
I think that was just a prep def compared to
Yes.
game
They
one and
fixed
game
all their
two.
mistakes
I
in the
think
grand
Casey just
final.
had more prep and more time to anti-strat. That's why they look so much better in game two.
All
First game
I'm
they
gonna
looked
say,
lost.
literally all I'm gonna say is KC lost to Heretics 13-4. Okay? Sentinels beat NRG and Loud 13-3 when they had anti-strat. They had anti-strat.
Oh my god, I agree. Sen is better. I just have faith in Eng. That's the
Me
main
too.
reason I have faith. That
And
I,
I
So
forget
are
the
you
name.
telling me that you
If-
don't have
if
faith in
any-
Chet?
in chat. I
You don't
think
have
he's a
faith in
fraud.
Chet, the anti-strat?
I thought Chet was a fraud for a long time now. What are we talking about?
He still
Oh, I'm
is, bro.
sleeping. I'm sleeping.
Also, you don't have
Oh,
faith in
no.
Sadak to anti it?
Sadak, you have two of the
they're playing
known
good.
best
Anybody.
anti-stratters of all time in this game, and you can't get 7 combined rounds.
I mean, to be fair,
Come
they
on.
Loud beat them the
Bro.
first time, but
But now, bro, that's because Sadak had
yeah,
ads
Sadak
for some
said,
reason.
"Nah, I'd win."
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
Anyways, okay.
Either way,
I agree. Sentinels is better. I just have faith, a lot of faith in Casey. That's the
it also is that was a huge sidetrack. That was about one map. I just think overall.
Also,
Overall,
I
they're the
think
best
their
team.
comp has weaknesses, but also
Yeah.
their comp might just fuck up people if you don't know how to play it.
Yeah, I think I
Like,
also
who
think
the
their
fuck
Sunset is the
who the
best in
fuck
the
is
world right
playing
now.
double controller and then like
Big
they're
game.
fucking? Is it?
I think
Probably, but I don't
think
think
I
it's
don't.
unbeatable.
Yeah, it's not as good as their split,
It
but
is?
it is the best in
I
the world in my opinion. I think
I don't think it's an
Heretics and
auto win.
Karming
That's what
Core.
I'm saying.
Yes, I agree. I think Heretics and Karming Core have also looked really good on Sunset, but they've been like about like equal, I think.
Yeah.
And they're
Oh, you
second
see,
and third.
Karming
Sen
Core
is
still
the
has
best
weaknesses.
sunset
I don't
team in
think.
the world.
Who?
Yeah, I think.
Did you say
I think-
Sen is the best sunset team in the world,
Yes,
or KC
yes,
is?
yes.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I think
Sen
KC
is.
at times has looked better
Okay.
than Heretics, and Heretics at other times has looked better than Karming
KC has a
Core.
lot of holes on their Sunset.
Yeah. So, and I
agree.
think Heretics is very
I
set play heavy on
slightly
that map.
Yeah, they are. I slightly prefer Sen's comp, but it's also pretty close. I feel like
Yeah,
they both comps have their strengths and weaknesses. But I feel like I'm pretty sure Sen stole some of the Gecko tech from KC, but like it's whatever. I don't. It's not a clear win. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
I look
I
at their
agree.
sunset and I'm like they're beatable. But
But
also
I would
a lot
favor them
closer
over
than the
any team.
split.
it's
It's a lot
I think it's
closer than the split.
50-50 with Casey. I think it's 50-50 with Casey.
Now, yeah, I think KC Sunset. Okay, so I saw this when they were playing Giants when Fatinho would sit on.
Yeah,
B,
they got owned by. That's the only reason where
Yeah.
I'm like,
and
Casey.
and they
they
also
might be beatable.
they also didn't fix that in the Heretics game because I forget who it was, but some person was doing that. They did the exact same thing where they would push B main and they just hold the line the entire game, and then no one would be able to. And
Yeah.
they would just get all the info and stack the other side.
You're right. They probably have less holes in it, but
But I mean,
also
they could fix that. They've had to.
it's fixable, and also it's like Bro,
Yeah.
my only argument is that egg. Oh, I'm
Me
cooked.
too, bro.
I'm actually
And,
cooked.
and
I
also,
think
I think
okay.
all
At
their
the end of the
players have
day,
really high ceilings.
also I think people are sleeping, and I made a tweet about it. I think after this event, after this off season, and then this event, Kaplan has shown that he is a
Yes.
top tier coach.
Agreed.
And
I knew Kaplan was a top
he
tier
is
coach.
one
I
of
knew
the
it from
best
day one.
I
coaches
like
in
him
the world.
last year a lot.
I think
You,
yeah.
He's-
when you play 300 rounds of Valorant, not that Casey didn't. Casey literally did the same thing, but I'm also here to argue that
Fair
America
comp.
has the best.
Fair comp. Like,
America
by
has the
far
best
better.
region in the world,
It's
and
not
it's
just
a lot
maybe
harder.
not just America's. The road that Sen took versus Casey, it's not comparable, man.
Yeah, it was
It's not even close.
Loud, 100 Thieves, Leviathan, G2 and
They
MIBR,
played no,
NRG,
they
and Loud
played-
again.
They played all the best teams other than them pretty much in the league. Like if you rank the teams, those are the best teams other than Sen.
Yeah, they played
Yeah.
every
Like
good
that-
team.
Like
And
it's
impressive.
insane.
I think-
it's extremely impressive, and I think Kaplan has shown that he is not only a great strategical coach, but
He's a great leader. too, yeah.
mentally,
Yes.
fundamentally, everything. Like he is just. I think at this event, he really proved himself as a top, like S tier coach in the world.
All right, and then
Yeah.
before I think we should
I
move on to pick'ems before we do the
Agreed.
top
We
10 as
spent
well.
30 minutes.
Let's
Um,
talk about some of the map pool though. No?
Shut up. We spent
No,
30
no, no.
minutes on this.
We've talked enough about the map pool. People don't want to hear about the map
Time
pool,
to
buddy.
move on from
The
this.
one thing I do
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
talk about with Kaplan is, I mean, I'll just mention it and then we move on. But like him becoming the head coach was the start of 10's turning around as a player.
I agree.
And I give a lot of credit to him for that
I
turnaround,
give
identifying
credit-
what 10's should be
credit for
playing and what he's
10?
good at.
Maybe.
I think that was a
it
lot of him.
true. Cause I'm pretty sure from like what I've seen in like the Discord and like his tweets and everything and interviews, it feels like Drew is the one that's like more in
Yeah,
charge of
I
like
mean,
the individual
just the whole
players,
coaching
like,
staff,
helping them out individual.
But it was kind of the point, like when they
Yeah,
switched.
he made the right decision.
He's
And-
made the
and
right
going
decisions
with the
ever
best
since.
five, like without basically any evidence, just going with the best five with your gut, that's a
Yeah.
crazy call. Especially when you're replacing Pancadas on smokes.
I
Like
agree.
it takes guts, man. And it worked out, it paid off.
All right.
All right, so now we're gonna go and get into our top 10 players at Masters Madrid. All four of us made individual lists of our top 10 players, and then
And
Wilkin-
Isaac.
Oh, and
We
Isaac,
have 5
yeah.
of us, yeah.
Wilkin went ahead and he combined all of them. If they got ranked in first on our individual list, that was 10 points. If they got ranked 10th, that was 1 point, etc., etc. You can fill in the gaps from there, and they were ranked by whoever had the most points is in first. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So this is our top 10 players list from 10 to 1. I actually don't know what our cumulative is. I haven't looked at it. Like glanced at it, but I don't remember
Oh,
it.
you're in for a shock then.
But yeah, let's get into it. So number
Alright.
10, let's see.
We'll start at number 10, where we got something.
Something.
Personally, I had something in 8th. Because-
I
and it just comes down to having faith that Paper X will do well, pretty much. And he'll look good. And that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Not too much to say there, honestly. He's just one of the
Yeah,
best duelists
I
in the
mean-
world. I don't think you can really
Mechanical skill,
disagree.
ability.
I had him at
I
10th.
have
So I mean, something go kill, right? Like, he's just good. So he'll probably sneak his way into the top 10 in stats, anyways. I think it's fair. Give him a 10th,
And Akum didn't have him on
I
the list.
did not have it top 10.
which is
Oh, wait,
insane.
I don't-
Before we move on, I want to say something.
It's
I saw
not.
people on Twitter. I mean, these like Twitter frogs, but like I saw people on Twitter saying that Moneyette was a better raise than Jing.
All right.
What?
Well, yep, we're gonna
Yes.
go ahead and
What
move
are they
on.
cooking from?
I do think.
Yeah.
Okay, the one thing that I do want to say about that is I do think he looked closer, like stylistically, as a raise than I
Yeah,
thought
but,
he
like,
would to Jing.
Production wise,
Yeah,
it's
no.
not close.
No,
What?
like I think that fit more into the
Anyways.
Paper X style than I thought.
Bro,
but-
something not top 10 for me. I wasn't impressed by like kickoff. Like he wasn't doing anything special. Champions, bro, looked like a fraud. If I'm honest, like compared to expectations, he looked like a fraud to me.
Yeah, I think he
I
looks
just-
okay at Gems.
I
don't think
don't-
he looks
I
great.
don't have too much faith in him as an individual, and I don't have too much faith in PRX as a team right now. So I can't
Fair.
put him in top 10.
I
I just
mean,
can't do it.
I think it's a little while. I think having him just outside the top 10 is okay. But I think the
I
way
think
you're
he's
talking
around
about
like
him,
15, maybe
yeah, I don't know.
probably if
15's a
it's
little
top
low.
20 or top 15, he's definitely in there. But top
Ooh.
10, I just
Okay,
Alright.
all right, fair enough. Number 9.
I do think so. These next two are tied in points. I don't know what order you put them in, Adba, but
No, wait, yeah, they are. I
yes,
thought it was 2 and
Kong
3.
Kong had 11, and so did actually. Well, I spoiled it. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Cowanzine had
okay.
11 points, and so
Cowanzine.
did the next.
Okay.
Um,
I mean,
just I don't
I
don't
think
get how
this
he's this
is
low.
yeah,
I think
I
this
think
is
he is a
about where
little
I had
low.
him to.
I had him fourth.
I think it's fine.
Okay, I think 4th is a bit high. I think
4 is
from the
high.
6 to the 9
4
range
is
is
too
good.
high. Yeah, I
I
think
think
this is
6 to
about.
9 is
I
good.
think this is a fair ranking for
Did I
him.
even have Cowan on my list?
But
Actually,
you
I
didn't.
didn't have him on my list. That's
I
probably
don't
how
think
it
it's a
happened.
hot take
Isaac
to
and I
not
were
have
the
him on
only
the
one
list.
with Cowanzine on our lists. I'm pretty sure.
I
I don't think it's a hot take to not have them
Ah.
on the list. I don't think it's that hard of a take.
I don't. Yeah,
Oh
I
no,
think
and
you.
Akum had him 10th.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
thought it was like
I
9th.
think
Anyways,
looking back at my list now, I'm not
I
super happy with the way I
I'm
did
pretty
it,
happy
but
with my list. I
Top
feel
10
like,
lists
bro,
suck.
the meta we're in and the roles that he's playing right now, it's
You don't.
not a great time to be an initiator. It's not like if you're not an info initiator, it's like
Yeah,
you're
but
providing value, but I feel like it's the least value in the meta right
I
now.
disagree.
Like
But
right there with Sentinel.
I think saying that like
And but to offset that, your individual play has to be like insane. And
and it
it was
is.
great, it was good, but it wasn't insane.
I think well, the thing for me is he is the best breach in the world. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. I don't think it's even
You can
that
argue it, but I
close.
think he is too. Yeah, I think you can argue it though, but I think he is
Who?
the best. I think Stacks has like really good util. I think
I guess, but
Chronicle is
like
like it's two
not
sets,
it.
so maybe
I think he's
it's not.
in
But his
another
util is
conversation
also
from those two
pretty
right
good.
now.
Who's the other one? I think Mitch. Mitch has
Oh,
insane
get
util,
out of
but he
here!
can't frog.
no,
Mitch
Mitch
has
has a good breach,
insane
but he's not
util.
in tier 1. So.
Insane util. I
Yeah,
think
he
he
doesn't
might have
count
the
anyway.
best util, but he can't frag. Yeah, he can't frag on breach.
But
But
overall,
his
I just
util,
think
it might be the best in the like
think
easily.
I think
That's
Cloud's
how
going to
good
do
his
well.
util is.
That's why Cowanzine's high. I think he has to be on this list no matter what.
I think if I were to
No
redo my
matter
list,
what,
I'd
no,
have him in
but
the
I
top.
think
I'd
it's
have him in
fine.
the top 9. I'd probably put him around like 7.
All right.
I wasn't like super impressed by his individual play. That's the main thing. Like his util was fine, his fragging was fine, but like I wasn't like wowed by it.
I don't fully disagree, but I don't. I thought it was
Yeah.
really good the whole tournament, and that's all you can really.
I don't think the individuals on Loud like as a whole, Sadak impressed, but QCK was maybe
I
to
think
my
QCK was
expectations,
better
maybe
than some
slightly
people
better, but like
expected.
everyone else was like either to the expectation or like maybe
All right, you should move
for
on.
me at least. Yeah.
All right.
Correct.
Next up,
Number
Number
8.
8.
we had Kang at number 8,
Uh
who Akum also didn't have on his list. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't have him on my list. I think if
I might not have
I-
had him on mine actually.
I think
didn't
he
have him
and
on-
Okay.
he and Kang should have been swapped. I didn't say anything about the points tie on that, but I think Cowanzine was rated on more lists and higher
Hmm.
on most lists than Kang was, I believe.
how the hell did he finish higher than? Was he
Okay,
just like
I'm
more
just
played
Wait.
gonna be
on
completely
PC or something?
honest.
Oh yeah,
I'm
Adba
gonna
had him
I'm gonna be
fourth. That's
completely
how.
honest.
Okay.
I'll let you say your piece.
If I had to redo my list, I would put Kalanzine on there. I still would keep Kong off.
Yeah.
I
I had him 7th just because I think he individually is going to be by far the best player on EDG
Of course.
at the event,
Always.
yeah, I agree.
as he always does, and that's why I have him over something. And I had him over Forsaken, who I had 9th, which I don't know how so many of you had Forsaken like so high. But that's a
like,
different
that's
thing.
mostly-
We'll talk about him later.
Okay,
Um,
I did not have Kang on my list either.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I don't know.
best opera in the world.
I feel like
Just
okay. The thing is, Kang individually, I think he will show up. I think he'll. I don't know if it will be enough to be top 10, but I think he.
I think
around
it'll be
there, like,
enough.
but I was basing it more off of like recent play, which is also fraudulent because he actually really played well, but
yeah.
it's also against like way lower.
I mean,
I value that a
saying
lot.
way
I
lower
value level
competition
up.
for individuals, I think doesn't really work for
Yeah,
China because mechanically,
yeah, but you can
China
get away with
is
so much against those teams.
true.
That's what I mean. Like, maybe not mechanically, like they'll punish you mechanically if you just take like a bad fight. But I'm talking about like counter-strating and like having
Yeah, I think he's
like
gotten
forcing
better
angles and
at
shit like
that.
that. Like he has, but also I just
It's still it's not great. All right, well,
I don't know.
Adbo say his
I love the
piece.
guy. I hope he proves me wrong.
but
But
if you're talking in a vacuum just individually like how he performed, I think he's top 10 like for
Yes.
sure.
All right, Adbo,
all
do you
right,
want to
Adbo.
say anything about Kong before we move on, or
Wait 1 second.
since you had him fourth,
I need to
and
look.
I don't think anybody else had him that high.
I don't know. Like I said, I love the guy. I hope he proves me wrong. He's super entertaining to watch. He's an incredible opper. His mechanics
He's
are
the most fun
obviously
player to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was the only
off
other
the
one with him
fucking
on my
chart.
list.
The only
But
reason the only reason I put him higher up is that he's starting to. I feel like it's good that he's starting to be more flexible. Like he played KO like 3 times, I
I
think, which I
hated
think is
that.
pretty
I
cool.
hate that.
I don't know why
I
they
actually
swapped
thought
the
his
roles because
I
Smoggy
no,
played
I
KO on one of the
I
other
thought his
maps,
KO.
and he played
I mean,
Raze.
I mean, I kind of like this KO a little. I thought his util was good, but I mean, he couldn't frag that much.
I
Yeah.
just hate their role swaps in general. Like I don't
Mhm.
understand why they
But I
swap
mean, like the players
agents, I guess.
on my list, I feel like he has overall better potential, in my opinion.
Potential, sure, I agree. I
The
think if
whole
EDG win the
Yeah,
tournament,
that's
he
fair.
is
Yeah, that's fair.
no
Exactly.
doubt by far
Yeah,
number
that's why
one.
I had him fourth.
If he's performing the same against this competition, he's easily like whatever top 2,
Yeah,
top
and
3,
I mean,
maybe even the best.
I also think EDG, like Akum said a while ago, it was China, and they're like really good against their own teams, and I think that that like they were bored. they looked like they looked like it was like a little bit easy for them, like they were just trolling some rounds. But I think they'll like lock in for this
Alright.
tournament. I think they'll go on a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Want to move on to 7,
Number 7.
Yep.
where we had Mini Boo, who
Ooh,
It's
I'll
fair.
let other people
I think
talk about him, but first I do want to say
okay.
I had him just off of my list,
I
like
think
11th.
okay. All right. Let me say my piece with Miniboo. I think if you left him off your list, that's fine. I think if you had him 5th, that's fine. He, to me, is going to be one of the players that, similar to Charon for me. Like if Charon shows up, Gen G is going to be extremely good. If Miniboo shows up and they're able to set Miniboo up well, Team Heretics is going to be really good. It's not the same level as Gen G. I think Gen G is just going to be better than Team Heretics. But I think if they do a good job of setting him up, and he shows up and he's shooting, he has the potential to be a top 5 player in this event. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep, I think so too.
I just don't think Heretics is going to go far enough to do that.
I had him pretty high on my list, but I also think he's a fraud. If I'm honest, like the run he had, it's like
Yeah.
unsustainable, man. Like the stats he was putting up, I just can't see
I
it
thought, yeah.
holding
I mean,
up.
he was
I mean,
unbelievable. I don't think he's
Like
going to keep it
the
up.
only reason I had him that high is because they played like good competition and the stats were there. But like, and Itis was also like solid. Like he seems like a pretty smart player and his mechanics are good. But also the level of production is just I just can't see
I'm
it
looking at
holding
your
up against
list. You
these top
were
teams.
trolling, dude.
What? What do
I
you
put him at
Some
mean?
9th,
of these,
so.
dude. We'll get to individual lists after this.
What do you mean? Okay,
Um,
we'll talk about it when we get there.
Dude,
But what do you mean I'm trolling?
him over narrate.
Woo! Okay.
Hey,
No,
Yeah.
we're gonna save this. We're saving this.
Oh yeah,
changed it,
yeah.
I
You're right.
changed it, I
You're right.
changed
I
it.
didn't change it on the
That
thing,
was like
but
way
your
before.
original list,
That
you were
was like
trolling.
way before.
I
That's
did.
when
I didn't
didn't
see
even
that.
like watch
I didn't
doing
change it
back
there.
or
Okay.
anything. Chill.
I did change the points though. I
Chill,
changed the
fam,
points. I changed the
chill.
points.
Okay.
Then we had
We'll get to it
Forsaken
then.
at number 6.
I think this is actually exactly where I
Yeah.
had Forsaken.
I think I
Yep.
had him like
Yeah,
5 or
this
I
is
had
where
him
I'm
9.
pretty sure.
I had him.
Yeah,
I
this is
didn't have
around
him
where
on
I
my
had him
list.
too.
Yeah, and
I
then
don't know if
no,
this
you
was
had
the
it. Oh
exact
yeah, you
spot,
originally
but
had
yeah.
him too. Never mind.
Woo! 2.
Uh,
Okay.
You originally had him too.
I didn't
Yeah,
even
Isaac
I
had
was
him
like
too,
way.
and Adba didn't have him. How the hell
I
did he
didn't
get
have
so
him on
high
my
then?
list.
I guess he was just on a lot of lists.
Yeah, he was just
Um,
on everyone's list.
I can say my piece with him really quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's Forsaken. He's a good shooter. He's always gonna be a good shooter. He's going to show up no matter what. He's
Yeah.
going to be there playing good.
That's pretty much the same argument for me.
It's a matter of like, is he going to play Copenhagen champs good, or is he gonna play good? Right,
Like Tokyo good.
Yeah, like it just depends. Like, is he gonna play really fucking good, or is he gonna play just like normal Forsaken, like good? I don't like it. That's the
Yeah.
easiest way I can explain it.
Yep, I think if
That's fair.
Paper X plays well, he'll be a highlighted individual.
I don't have a lot of faith in Paper X or any of the other individuals, but he's the one player where I'm like, oh yeah, he'll show up.
I mean, he had some bad maps for Paper X, which is why I had him
He
lower.
did, but also like in the playoffs, I thought he was like clearly the best player.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
there's that.
Not too much to add on. Anybody else have any thoughts?
No, I think that's it.
And then to number 5, we take a huge jump here in terms of points. Like Forsaken had 22, this next guy had 31.
Whew.
And we have Texture with the global
What?
esports jersey.
No,
Yeah, I think this is fair.
I think this is
Akum
low.
had him higher.
Global
I thought.
esports texture.
This is low. This is
I-
so low for me.
Okay, say your piece and then we'll let everyone else talk.
Okay, I said everything about like the level of competition, blah blah blah, whatever. But this guy's the fucking truth, man. I don't care. This guy's the fucking truth. He's clearly the best player in APAC. He's clearly the best duelist in APAC. He's probably the second best duelist right now, farm wise, like top 2, top 3 with Kang and second. So I don't know how he's this low. I think he's
The reason
at worst third.
I had him 6th, and the reason I say that is just mainly because I don't think Genji is going to be good enough to have him look like this top 3 player. If he does
I
end
think
up
he'll
looking like the
perform
top 3
regardless,
player, I
that's what
think
I'm
that
saying.
means Genji make finals.
I think he'll look good regardless of what Genji is doing. That's the
I
thing
agree.
for me.
I mean,
I
I
think
agree.
I think
he might not be as good as he was regionally, but I think he'll still be like fucking insane internationally, regardless of how bad Genji does as a team.
I mean, I've been
That's
on
why- that's
I've been
where
on
I'm
the
at pretty
Texture
much
train
with him.
since like 2021, so
I don't know. I think
I
Texture's
waited for him
going
to
to
get
be
the shot.
Texture's going to be extremely good, and I actually had him right here at 5, and I think he is the second best duelist at this event. But I also
agree with-
think the level of competition that he played in Pacific is inevitably going to be lower than what he's playing
that's
now,
a
right?
that's a very extremely fair argument.
I think that teams like Loud, especially like Sentinels, especially Carmen Core, like they're going to know how to shut down opposing teams' duelists a lot better than DRX does, a lot better than Zeta Division does. That's not to say
Probably.
that he's not going to perform top 5. I think he will be a top 5 player at this event, but he's not going to be best player in APAC level, like out of his fucking mind.
I don't
Like,
think he's going to be the best
get
duelist
shut
in
down a lot
Pacific at
more.
this tournament. Actually,
Yeah,
it'd be close.
I can see it being close with him in something.
Nah,
I think it's a
it'll be
coin
very,
toss.
very close.
I think I have
I think
more.
it'll be
I think
close.
I have more faith in Paper X being able to work around the other international teams just because of the pure experience that they have, and being able to help something get out of being shut down than I do in Genji being able to help Texture not being shut down.
Okay,
Yep.
here's my counterpoint. PRX did look good before on other international stages, and something still got shut down. So like,
That's not a bad.
He got shut
I mean,
down at Tokyo because he didn't
like-
go, and then otherwise he hasn't.
not Tokyo champs.
Champs, he
He
looked
looked
good.
mid at champs. He looked mid compared to expectations. He looked mid, bro. He looked like a middle of the pack duelist there.
Dude,
He did not look like easily top 2, top 3.
anyone who thought he was gonna look like by far the best duelist in the world was way
I didn't think
overhyping him.
Yeah, but you thought he'd be like what, third
Yeah, he was.
behind Demon One and Aspect, and he wasn't. What?
Who was better than him?
Kang was clearly better. Who else was there?
I also
can't
don't think
remember.
Aspas played as
was
well
there,
as him.
obviously.
Yeah,
Aspas didn't play well, but he played better than something.
I disagree.
Fuck.
I think he did play better
Bro,
than something actually.
At least something was
okay.
farming like the lower tier teams. That's where I'll say.
Nonetheless.
Anyways, continue.
I think this is a good spot for Texture. I don't see
Yep.
him performing much less than this, but I also don't see him performing much higher than this. So I think 5 is just a good spot.
Okay.
All right. Then number 4. I think we should let Akum talk first for this one. Tens.
Sentence, my god! I mean, I love the guy, but I have him top 10, but I think this is way too high for me. I can't lie.
Yeah, when I saw,
I don't think 4 is high. I feel like this is heavily biased with team success. I think it's mostly because you guys have faith in Sen that they'll go deep and he'll look good, which I do too, but also this is more about like just individual play regardless of how well the team does for me. So I also based it a lot off of recent form, which might be unfair to some players, but I
I
can't
think
see him
basing it
being
off of
4th
recent form,
now.
you'd have 10s higher than you did.
Yeah, you guys have
I
it higher, but I mean he is very high, but like I don't know if it's higher than
By the way, you
texture,
two were
than
the only
MADRID.
two, Adba and Akum, you two were the only two without 10s in your top 3.
yeah,
Top
I don't.
3?
okay,
Yeah,
okay. Let
Okay,
me speak
that's
my piece now. Let me speak my piece.
okay.
look at the other
Speak.
10s fan.
So yeah, well, yeah. So
Okay, wait. Before
I'm
you
going
go,
to
wait a second.
yeah. Go ahead. That's fine.
I think he was really good. He did look really good on Omen specifically and on most of the maps. On Ascent, he was fine, but it was like Ascent that they just did not look good. But on the other roles, his fragging wasn't there. If I'm totally honest, his it was fine, but it wasn't to the level on
Dude, he was
he was doing
performing
it in the
fucking
playoffs and
miracles against Energy.
he was, but also he was throwing a few rounds, which I'm like,
You'll live with that though if he's
is he done?
single-handedly winning multiple
You
rounds.
will, but like.
It's
He
tens.
threw that round. It was at like 10-11, I want to say, where he was just standing outside the smoke, like holding an angle, and he just whiffs on 2 people and dies. That was just so bad. Like
That's
you can't be
confidence.
doing that,
I don't
son.
know.
But it's
All right.
also like he did win so many rounds, which I like. That's the reason. Like, fuck it.
All right.
He's still top 10.
Let codes go
Like
now.
whatever.
And then
All right.
yeah.
So, couple things. First of all, I think aside from Reykjavik 2021, this is the best he's ever looked. Most comfortable he's
Not
ever
close.
looked.
Not
I
close.
think it's not
Yeah,
close
probably.
to Reykjavik.
Oh no, it
but
is
this-
it is
It's not.
close. I don't think it's not I don't think
It's
it's close to
not.
anything else.
It's not
That's what
close
I'm
to
saying.
Reykjavik.
I don't think it's Reykjavik. Like that's fucking insane. Like he just was
Yeah.
God himself at that event. But he has easily looked the most comfortable and the best, the most well-rounded that he's ever looked in his entire Valorant career
I agree.
throughout this season. Statistically, he's statistically the third best player in the world right now, behind, I believe it's Narrate and Less. So just basing that off pure statistics in the
What,
world,
just
he's the third
rating?
best in the world. It's not VLR rating. It's like specific, like with ACS, first kill, first death. It's like it was a tweet that I saw. He's the third best, statistically in the world. I just
Yeah,
think
because he was top
overall,
6 rating.
yeah. Rating in
Okay.
Americas, yeah, he was sixth. I think overall, not having him in your top 4 minimum is fucking insanity. I can't see any world in which the way he performed at this event on every agent except for KO, and even on KO he played fine. Like there was
He
a
was
little
fine, yeah.
trolling, but the level of play he had in big rounds on the Omen and on the Yoru was fucking insane. I don't see how you can have him outside the top 4 if you watched all of the games.
I don't have anything else to add.
I don't
And
think
that
his
was
Euro
perfect.
looked great compared to like the off-season tournaments. I thought it
Yeah,
was
well,
fine, but it was like
to be fair, he wasn't
it
like
wasn't as good.
he used to walk showers every round on attack and kill
I mean, that's
2.
what he was doing still, but like that's
Yeah,
I don't know.
like he's not gonna keep that up. But if he kills 1 and TP's out,
But
who
it wasn't
cares?
happening. That's the thing. And they
He'll be
just got
fine.
shut down on Bind in general, so it's
Yes,
like
yeah.
whatever. I think it's
Also-
valid, but I'm just not ready to put him there yet.
Quick
If that
hot
makes sense.
take, and I want opinion on this very quickly before we get into top 3. Literally one sentence
Yeah.
answer from all of you. I think he is behind Tui's and maybe one other. I think he's a top 3 controller in Americas right now.
I think he's the
I
best
think he's
controller
probably
in the
third.
world right now.
I think he's probably 2 in my opinion.
I
But
think he's the best controller in the world.
I have Marv and Tui's ahead of him in Americas,
Up to him,
and
bro.
I
maybe
think I
Mako
think
and Scary from
okay.
Pacific.
Individually fragging wise, I think he's easily the best.
yeah,
Yeah.
But if util wise, he's also really good. He's probably like top 5-ish. But if you
this is
combine both
globally.
of
He's
them,
fucking
I
globally,
think
though.
if
Yeah.
you combine both of them, I think he is one easily. But also you can make the argument for like Karen
I-
and like Shin maybe.
I
think-
think if you're going off of like
right now
the
form.
best player on controller is tens, but the best pure controller player is not tens.
I think
But
okay.
the best player on
So
controller
just
is tens.
util me. You mean just util then, basically.
I think right now
Controller util then.
in current right now form, I think tens is the best. But I think if you're not having as much recency bias, which I don't think you should, I have Marved, I have Tui's, I have Mako, I have Scary over him, and that's it.
Scary
Which
is a
is-
hot take, but I agree with all the rest.
Dude, Scary
I
was
think
like a top 3
I think
controller in the world in
Scary is valid. I
2022
think
and looked
Mako
really
is
good
valid,
last.
but I think Scary and Mako are valid. The other two, I don't agree.
I think historically you got to take what they've done over
Either way,
tens.
that was
Yeah,
just a quick
That's
hot
that's like
take.
a whole
Yeah.
season ago.
All right.
That's like
Anybody
we're
else have
going
anything
off
to
a
say?
Fawn from 2 years ago. That's the thing. Anyways, go ahead.
Number 3, I think.
Number
Yep.
3.
Yeah,
Number 3.
fraud.
We got to do. Why are we
So, okay,
okay? I thought we agreed on putting narrate or less over narrate at 2.
So we have narrate at
No one told me this. That's
2.
not gonna.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Makes
narrate
sense.
and less were tied in points.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
I think putting less behind narrate is criminal as fuck.
Yeah, I had less number 1.
And
I've had less
I'm
number
thinking-
1 on my Tokyo tier list. I had him number 1, or I had him like top 5 in my champs. Like he is the best player at this event. Has been the best player on Loud.
historically, sure, but I don't think he'll be the best player this event.
I think
I think no matter how Loud does, I think he'll. I mean, as long as
Yeah.
Loud makes it out of groups, I think he will be top
Brother,
3.
what are we talking about? Loud was good, and he did not look like the best player in the world.
I think he did.
Kickoff.
That's
did
why
not.
I had a.
What?
I think him and the other guy that is at 1 on this list, I think are 1 and 2, and I think you can go either way. I'm fine if you put less 1.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Our number
maybe.
1 was by far like I was the only one that did not have our number 1 guy at number 1.
Which
I
is
think
which is
here's the
insane,
thing.
but I think because
I
of who
don't-
you had
okay,
at 1 is
okay.
okay.
Okay. Listen about the thing about the guy who okay, we'll talk about the number 1 guy when we get to him. But now, less specifically, he's really good. His role is just not as impactful as like a duelist, but also he somehow still finds a way to be like on par with those guys. So
Exactly.
which is insane. But this tournament, I did not see it. At kickoff, he was farming Lev. The other games, he was good, but like
And then he'll be
best
good
player
at
in the
Tokyo.
world good? I don't think so.
Or not at
Maybe.
Tokyo.
Maybe?
I said the wrong
Maybe not.
fucking thing. But I think even
Maybe
when
he will,
Loud
maybe
looked
he
bad at
won't.
Tokyo, I mean, I know we're talking about historically stuff right now, or with this, but I think even when Loud as a team looked bad at Tokyo, I think he was easily their best player. I know people were saying it was Aspas and no help, but I think Aspas did a lot of trolling at that event. Regardless, I think he's been
I mean, the team did a lot of
arguably.
trolling, not
I think he's
Aspas.
been arguably their best player at every event since Champs 22, including Lock-in.
You can argue it. Yeah, you can argue it. I'd have Aspas over him, but like you can definitely make the argument. But recent form, bro,
I think he's been really
Yeah.
good. I think
I
he's
think
still been
he-
less.
if we're going by just kickoff, right? I think he's closer to 10 than he is to 1.
I
No.
think going into Madrid, number 2 is better than number 3.
What?
Well, you don't like if you're using just kickoff as the sample size, you don't think
Yes,
he's closer
yes.
to 10 than 1?
Well, yeah, duh.
No.
Yeah.
What?
I
I'm
think.
still-
I mean,
like,
we
I don't
already
know,
we already
like,
said who number
just,
2
like,
is.
looking statistically. No. I'm talking about Akum's point. I think statistically, sure, maybe, but I watched every single America's game, let alone every single
But even
Loud
I
game.
just even I watched every single game.
And you're still saying he's closer to 10 than he is to 1. So you're saying
Yeah.
he's in between 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, I have him like 4, I want to say, but I think it's
That's
If
closer to
you
1 then.
go
That's
just-
fine.
That's closer. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
but that's
quite
because-
literally.
that's because I'm considering what he's done historically. That's why I still have some faith in him. But if you go just by kickoff, he's closer to 10 than 1.
I don't
that's a
fully
bit
disagree
insane.
with that. I think I would have had.
I think that's.
I think if you go just off kickoff, I don't think he's top 3.
He just got shut
I think
down
he's
way
top
more
5,
often
though.
than he used to. Like,
And I think
I don't
that's partially to do with his role as well. Like just playing Perma Viper on every map. I don't think that's like
It's
it's
true.
yeah, but that's
probably
also,
his
like,
best agent.
best role, yeah.
I think his Killjoy's better. Like
I don't
it's
think
not
it
a
is.
big gap, but
But he doesn't do anything like super different on Killjoy. That's the thing. It's like his playstyle doesn't really change. It's just the agent.
yeah.
And
But
Killjoy, it's not like you have some insane skill ceiling or something.
I think Killjoy has a
What is the word I'm looking
higher
for?
floor.
It's the same thing with Gecko, where it's not, you don't have creativity with it, like if that makes
I think
sense. Like
Gecko.
there's not much you can do.
I disagree with Gecko, but
No, but like if
I
you're
agree
playing
with that
Gecko,
point,
there's
though.
only certain ways you can do it. There's only so much you can do it without it being like kind of troll.
Hmm.
If that makes sense.
I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
what I mean. Like
I think
yeah.
three's a good spot for him. I mean, I personally would
I think
pick
3
two,
is
but
fine.
like I think three's fine. I guess.
All right,
I
and
think-
then you want to move on?
Yeah, go ahead, move on. Yeah.
All right, and then I think we already
It's gonna be
mentioned
the
it,
famous.
but
It's great.
yeah, narrate too.
I love this guy.
I had
I
narrate
love
at
it.
5, which I think
I actually
was
love him.
Okay,
might
I
be the
I want to
lowest.
say one thing.
No,
I want to say one
Isaac
thing.
had him lower.
I think recency bias is playing a huge like.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Which is why I had him
For
5.
sure.
Not
For sure it is. For sure it is.
You
I
can ask Woken, bro. I've been glazing this guy for like
Yes,
2 years.
yes,
I
you
mean,
have.
yeah, but
Like,
that's not
okay, but
what
like
he-
why?
what he means.
Like you're not fucking in the server scrimming this guy or playing against him. Like he was in the fucking doldrums of tier 3, tier 2 for the past.
Yeah.
yeah, but he was playing with Trick Abe. Trick
Yes,
Abe!
bro.
That's my argument.
We're
And
not
he
gonna
still
get
looked
over that.
good. He looked like a
He
competent
looked
duelist. He looked like a top 3 duelist.
fine. Dude,
Okay,
I
no,
don't think he
you're
looked
hating.
that much better than a lot of NA duelists, but I was also saying that
He
it was
wasn't like clearly
very
better or
possible that
anything,
he
but,
looked a
like,
lot better on this
bro,
initiator
he wasn't
shit.
okay. He wasn't
Yeah, he looks
okay.
better on
Okay,
Initiator than he does on Duelist.
he does.
It's not close either.
I don't know,
No,
bro.
I don't
His
think it's good.
duelist play was insanely good though in kickoff, and that was
Oh,
as
yeah.
the entry, not even as like the second entry. And he was being set up. Don't get me wrong, but like it wasn't as much as Martin. So I'm like,
I
I don't
mean,
know.
I don't know. I think
Anyways,
2's an okay
bro,
spot. I think 2 or 3 is where he needs
if-
to be.
The thing
But-
is, you don't have a huge sample size to go off. You can't go off like, oh, historically he hasn't been that good. All you can do is go off of kickoff, pretty much.
Yeah.
And also
Exactly.
project some slight fall off from not being
Yeah.
by far the best initiator player in the world at kickoff.
Bro, there's just the stats he was putting up. There's just no way he could keep it up, right?
Yeah, it's not possible. But
It's just not possible.
I think he can.
I think it'll be a little
No,
bit. I think
He's dropping like 30 every other map. That's just it's not possible.
he'll like consistently be
Right.
really good the whole event, which is why he's this high.
I want to read off his stats really quickly to you, and I want you to tell me
I'm
with a
pretty
straight
sure
face that
he
he
has a
can keep
higher
these up.
ACS on Fade than Raze.
I just want you to tell me if you think he can keep these up, okay?
No, fuck.
5 maps of Fade, 1.34 rating, 1.5 KD.
Okay.
6 maps of Gecko, 1.24 rating, 1.3 KD.
I think that is like closer to reality, but the Fade one is insane.
That's
Yeah.
still
I think
It's still
Absurd.
insane. It's
I
still
think he can do
insane.
that.
Don't get me wrong, but that's like closer to possible.
Yeah, I think like he'll be one of the best players of the tournament. That's why we have him too. And
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing
I don't know if he will.
at
but,
least
like,
for these
if we're
top couple
going off of
players, I
recent
think
form,
we're-
It's just like it's.
I think we're doing more like putting down these players
sure.
than we
Yeah.
should be. I think we like Neri is going to be one of the best players of the tournament. I think Les is too. Like, do we
They're both
disagree with
gonna
that?
be insane. No, they're both going to be crazy. They're both top 3 players. They're
And
both top 3 players.
I mean, this next one I think we're all going to agree on. So I don't think there's going to be even too much discussion about number 1.
Okay, I have to say something about number 1 though. I do
Alright.
agree, but I have something to say.
Let's go to number 1, and then we'll let.
So
Akeem
before
his
before anybody says anything, I do want to point out the points difference. So Les and Narrate were tied at 2 and 3 with 34. Tens had 33. Texture had 31. Zekin had 48.
Jesus.
He was number 1 on everybody except for my list, and I had him 3 behind Tens.
That makes sense.
You had last number 1, right?
I had Les 1,
What?
Tens 2, Zekin
I
3.
mean- Oh wow.
Okay,
Who's the
okay,
10th placer now, buddy?
Yeah, I
Alright.
mean,
Fair
Oh.
enough, but like
Akeem, say your piece with
Okay.
Zekin, and then
Zekir at 1 feels like it doesn't feel like how do I put this? It doesn't feel like it's because he's like clearly the best in the world. It feels like a default pick. Like everyone else, you just see everyone and you're like, oh, yeah, just put this guy at 1, if that makes sense.
yeah.
It doesn't feel like Tens in 2021 or like Ye in 2022, where you're like, oh yeah, this guy's the fucking best in the world. It's like it's not even close.
Yeah.
But it just feels like the default pick. Like it just feels like the safe pick, if that
Like
makes sense.
it's not like picking Aspas going into Tokyo or picking Leo or Alfia going into champs. It's like I
Yeah,
think everybody else has faltered a little bit or has some doubts around
it's
them. I
like
think
it's just
Zekken
like the combination of everything, right? He's played
has
good,
the
but I
highest
think
floor out of
he's
any
played
player.
really good. Yeah,
I
I
don't
agree
think
with that.
anybody will disagree with
Like
that. And
he's,
it's not
I
close.
feel like there's players who reached higher peaks than him recently, who have played better than him on his roles, and there's like people who've, yeah, that's it, very good, basically. But it's just like the sample size you have and the competition you've seen him against. That
Yes.
just like puts him at one, pretty much.
Okay, I'm gonna say a couple
He's
things.
the best entry player in the world. I don't
Statistically, he has been the most important player on the Sentinels team. Statistically,
Yeah.
he's been the most important
That's
player on
why
the
too.
Sentinels team. He was statistically the best player in Americas. When you take into account round differential, right? But statistics aside, his fundamentals are crazy. His spacing from his team
Yeah.
is incredible. He's never, and obviously that's partly Sentinels having good fundamentals, but he's never like on an island. He never puts himself in bad spots and gets killed because of it. He rarely makes game altering mistakes. Watching the Sentinels comms videos, even his comms are crazy. Like
Yes.
he's making comms
He's
that
just,
no 18-year-old kid should be able to make in his like second year of tier 1 play. Like I just
he's
think
just a total package. Yeah.
yeah,
The only
and
weakness I could see
he's a sponge.
potentially is his opping. And that's
And
it.
his jet play in general. Statistically, his jet play is pretty bad, which was shocking to me, if I'm honest.
I mean, he was a
I thought
flex
he was
player that
fine,
played Raze
but
sometimes
it's also okay. That not earlier, man.
before.
This year, I'm talking
Yeah,
about
no, I
the
know, but which
kickoff.
is why his like he hasn't played a ton
I
of Jet.
know, I know he hasn't, but it's also like I thought he was fine, but like statistically, it looks pretty bad. But it's also probably heavily influenced because of the fact that their jet map, like the maps he plays jet
Yes.
on, are also like their worst maps, pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, if they want to opt, they have tens. That's
it's true.
Yeah,
It
but,
does.
I don't know.
like-
Hopping wise, I was pretty impressed. I can't lie. I thought he was pretty good. Hopping
Yeah,
wise,
I think he's
he
really good.
had
I just think it's
moments
his
where
only
he had
weakness.
moments where he was like, eh. But like for the most part, I was pretty impressed by his hopping. He was better than I expected in
Yeah.
most of the games.
I just think overall he's the total package. His comms are crazy. His spacing is insane. He literally controls the pace of every single round. Every round is built around him, and he does an insane job of controlling it. And it's
Yeah,
unbelievable for how young he is. It's super impressive. He's a sponge.
yeah,
He's super coachable.
pretty
He's
much.
just the best player in the world.
Yep. I mean,
Yep.
not too much else to say.
Not much to say.
Yeah, that's it.
So I think that's it. That's all we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I think that about wraps up the first episode.
Let's see any breaking news here. Any Jake
Probably
dropping?
not.
I didn't see any thing.
Not that I've seen.
No Jake dropping. Okay.
Oh, wait,
All right.
I mean, this is completely off topic, but what they
I'll just cut
tied?
this out.
Oh, Passion Project just tied up against SNG. They're on a scent right now.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Well, that wraps up our first episode of our new show, right?
Yep.
Like we said, we don't have a name yet, so any ideas, leave in the comments. Pretty sloppy for a first episode, but it's all of our first times being on a podcast, let alone hosting a podcast or running one,
Yeah.
But hopefully the points got there. It was somewhat entertaining hearing us yell at each other like idiots. But yeah, that's it. Unless anybody else has anything else to say, we'll close it out here.
I don't think I do.
All right, cool.
Well, we'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff.
Of course.
Yeah. We'll probably do another episode maybe next week, something like that. We'll see. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Peace.